Footy and Frothies, live from the Grey Gums Hotel in Penrith. Danon and Daggy back with you as his mic. Can you hear me now?
Yep. There we go, mate.
Yeah,
there
classic.
we go.
Right on time. Just chatting away and then it cuts out right when we need it the most. But anyway, here we are. Wouldn't be a show without it. We are recording. We are there. Welcome everyone on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, all the good places like that. What's going on?
Not much. Good to be back. It's a bit cold at the foot of the mountain. We're waiting for
the heater's just
our
about
heater
to toast up.
Yeah.
I hope.
Another good week of football.
Yeah, that's right.
A couple of upsets. Keeps it interesting. The NRL inductee Hall of Fame. They've started mentioning a few people.
So the class of 2024 as of today, the first ever coaches inducted, Wayne Bennett and Jack Gibson, both rightfully so, I suppose.
Yeah.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame. Ken Arthurson and John Quayle as contributors, and broadcasters Frank Hyde and the late David Thirsty Morrow, which I can't really knock any of them.
No. Best of the best, really.
100%.
From what my knowledge.
Well, Jack Gibson coached a Parramatta premiership, so he must have had someone. Yeah?
That's it. It's like anyone that can coach them to a premiership deserves it. There was... It's like the first time the NRL's done something and no one's complained.
Yeah. That's fair commentary.
It gives you an idea of the individuals they've selected. You kind of know they've actually nailed it when no one complains.
And there's still an immortal to come. I think they're going to announce more as I think... Oh, there we go. They're talking about here.
Talking about in the
looking through the window. But there'll be some players to come at some point.
Yep.
And obviously the immortal will be announced, which I'm sure will be controversial.
100%.
What are we going to say about immortals? I don't know. You can make cases for the ones we've seen. You can make cases for ones before.
That's I think with the immortals, mine from I've never seen him. Obviously, Ron Coote seems to be the one that stands out the most.
Yeah.
And then it kind of jumps to that Parramatta side of the 80s. How none of them are included yet. All this talk about...
Someone like Kenny or someone?
Kenny and Sterling.
Before they go?
Yeah, the two that come to mind. There's obviously... You always get to talk about, the Lockyers and...
Smith.
Thurston. Everyone in between that could be...
I still maintain Brad Fittler's a better player than Andrew Johns, but that's...
That's it. So their time will come.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do this... And it's a very hard concept because it's better than the best of the best.
Yeah.
So it is very controversial no matter who they pick. But Ron Coote, he seems to be the name that the elder generation say the most. They're the ones that watched him and have watched the modern game.
Yeah.
So if they're still screaming for him to be selected, well, you'd have to think it warrants a selection.
Yep.
He's the only older person that they mention.
Yeah, and fair enough.
It's not like there's we just spoke. Lockyer, Thurston, Smith, except
I could see them placating a Queenslander, just to keep Queensland happy. But yeah, fair enough. I don't tend to get. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't upset me one way or another.
It doesn't, and it doesn't really affect anyone. It's just, does that person deserve to hit that official status?
Yeah, exactly right. I guess we'll wait and see. We'll learn that. Well, that'll be announced, I assume, Dally M night or something.
No idea, to be honest.
Maybe this week. Who knows?
Yep.
Just quickly, some news around, but one of the most important bits of news, I want to say congratulations to Barney, David Harvey, a former co-host, I suppose, on the birth of young Harrison Harvey. Likes his alliteration, does Barn. But Harrison Harvey, now doing well. A few streaky moments, but all the best to him and the family along the way. So caught up with him briefly on the weekend. That was good. So all the best to him on their next journey. Sean Johnson retired. 265 first grade games, 2014 Golden Boot. Obviously, Caranella and predominantly the Warriors, leading point scorer for the Warriors, leading point scorer for the Kiwis, I think. Four Nations winner. When they beat them, we beat Aussies in the finals, which led to the Golden Boot in 2014. No World Cup, but good player.
I think he's done the Warriors a disservice by waiting so long.
to shut out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they...
I assume he was umming and ahhing and then a couple
he
of
must
injuries.
have been.
Just
Yeah.
he said,
Because who have they got to sign if they don't like their current crop?
well, there's not many.
There's no one now.
There's not many. Bud Sullivan, you can have him.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if they're not happy, and again, Tamari Martin's been the halfback.
Luke Metcalf played reserves, I think, on the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that, and I think Tamari Martin can be their halfback. They have been playing well under him.
I think you've got to have some faith. I don't want to. Well, just to finish on Sean Johnson, like fantastic running game, obviously more than the serviceable kicking game, very good kicker, explosive at his best. That hasn't. Last year was brilliant. This year we haven't seen it. We didn't really see it at Cronulla, but Golden Boot winner speaks for itself. I just assumed you won a premiership, but he didn't and won't. But anyway, he'll be in the Hindy team. But very, very good player, as I said. Has plenty of records along the way. Nearly 1,200 points for the Warriors. More than deserved. As for next year, as you're saying, look, I think if you're Warriors, you almost just have to at least have a season where you have faith in Chanel, Metcalf, Tamari Martin in some combination.
Yeah.
Given you've still got the little fullback up your sleeve.
Jet Cleary is coming.
Jet Cleary's going, of course. Yes.
But he's a couple of years away.
Yeah.
So, it's Tamari Martin. If anything, the Warriors did play better as with him at 7 this year. But if that's not the path that they wanted to go down before Cleary starts playing with them, he hasn't really left them many options.
And let's be honest, like Cleary's still 17. Like
that's
a long way.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
being a first grade halfback.
There's enough period there where they could have looked at the market for somebody for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. Injury news. We mentioned AJ last week, Achilles, didn't we?
I believe so.
We've got a bit of a watch on, I guess, Dom Young and Azarko, both leg issues. We don't quite know. Trindle, it's come out today, hamstring, could be 2 to 4 weeks, according to NRL physio. Who knows? But the two big ones are, I guess, Broncos' troubles continue. Liz Frank for Haas and Sindis Moses for Mam. They're probably done this year.
I don't think they play again. There's no point. They're not going to make the 8.
Why risk anything?
Yeah. Oldham was the other one. Surgery to both knees. I don't think it's anything major. I think it's just a clean-up, but with his 3-week suspension.
Well, they're going to contest, and I think they just decide, you know what, get him cleaned up, try and get a year out of him next year.
That's it.
Fair enough. And that's all judiciary news. There's nothing much else.
No.
We'll save my whinging till the Tigers game. I guess the only other news, let me look through this, is officially Casey Badger can no longer referee South Sydney, this according to Buzz Rothfield. The same ban will apply to Casey Badger being a referee attaché at South games. Gavin Badger's been the referee's consultant for 2 years. How this got 2 years in without this being a case, who knows? Most concerningly, part of this Phil Rothfield article, Casey Badger is a highly regarded in the game as a touch judge, referee and official. I will leave that comment there. Thanks, Buzz. Isn't it? Well, one, it's common sense. Two, I'm sure.
I think that makes Gavin Badger the hottest property in the NRL.
I was going to say, he's going to be in high demand for next
Yeah,
year.
100%. I'd be signing Gavin at whatever it costs to have the ability for her not to be involved in my games.
We'll save the Sharks game to the Sharks game as well. Anyway, anything else caught your eye over there's some signing stuff, but I think we talked about Stefano last week. So I don't think there's too much else in terms of signings that's going to break the bank.
It's pretty much Stefano to the Storm, and we're just waiting for the 10-day cooling off period for Blaze. For Penrith.
Well, the round kicked off 48-30. Cowboys over the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval. I'll be honest, I went to bed after the send-off. Literally turned the TV off and went to bed. But what do you make of this game?
The send-off isn't bad. It's the inconsistency that's the issue.
Well, what shitted the most, and I thought a weekend about how can I compare this to another team. I thought, and literally I was going to say, what if Isaac Tango did the same thing for the Panthers?
Exactly.
And shock me, Isaac Tango did the same thing to the Panthers on Sunday, in the flesh, and it was on report.
That's it. Not even in the bin.
there was actually quite a few across the weekend that were similar.
Yep.
Nelson,
Yep.
I think there was a couple
There-
more
there
than
was-
a couple
there
in
was
the
3 or
Roosters
4.
game. And I was going to compare them to top teams, or bar the Roosters, because the Roosters do get actually pinged quite a bit. But I thought I was, I would have been fine with Sinbin, with final report, and I was not very happy. I said, literally turned to the other, said that'll do me, and went to bed.
And it's not even just the send off. It's he got 3 weeks and the others.
Not even well, yeah, fined.
Yeah.
All fined. How Tango? How was it?
I don't know.
Can you help me out here?
And
Can
this-
anyone help me out in the comments below?
And this is the problem for the Tigers. Like, there is that ill discipline with the Tigers, and it's
Absolutely,
costing
not
them.
disputing that.
But
But
the-
you go back. I go
the
back a month to
inconsistency.
Appy being sin binned for a not square marker.
Yeah.
There were 2 times the exact same thing happened to Appy. Nothing happened to the Cowboys.
Yep.
Teddy should have been sin binned.
Yep.
In that Roosters game. Not even. I think they eventually blew a penalty and they
No,
scored.
they scored. So they didn't.
scored.
They scored after
but
the
not,
set
not
reset.
even a look at a sin bin.
Yep.
You can go through all the way through.
That 6 again rule has almost killed the sin bin for a professional foul,
yes.
which just doesn't make any sense.
It
Because realistically, if that team does not score immediately, it makes the 6 again not worth it.
yeah. It's anyway. Plenty of inconsistencies.
But again,
in
the
that game.
Tigers game is exactly what we said. They will score plenty of points, and it'll just be the inexperience that costs them. It's almost what it was. One less try, but the conversions made the scoreline a bit blown out.
And I think it's almost underplayed and how bad the Tigers' kicking game's been since Pat Richards.
They don't have a kicking game.
Since Brett Hodgson, Pat Richards.
You lost your halfback.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about even goal kicking.
Oh, goal
even
kicking,
this,
yeah.
It was 2 tries. Yeah, no, well, Val kicked 7 of 8. Appy kicked 3. This could have been closer. This is a club that has lost, I don't know how many games by 2 points or 4 points in the last decade, and it's never really been addressed. I know in a lot of ways it's the least of issues, but in terms of kicking, so back to this game, Latu got knocked out in the 5-minute mark or something.
It was early.
It was early on. We lost Olam, so playing with 12 blokes. Tigers are playing with 12 blokes. I thought the middle was fantastic. I thought Porter, Fainu, Clemmer was serviceable. Ice was good again, and he's in his home.
You guys
run
played better once you actually had 12.
Yeah, but the middle's there's enough there where you just go, okay, as a Tigers fan, it's actually one of the most encouraging games for next year in terms of Buller's had a great month. Galvin overplays his hand, but sort of has to. Appy's what you see is what you get. The outside backs were the issue, and they just got. There was concern going in, it still is now. They're just the ones playing in this game. I don't think are long-term first graders. Alamalo's, I think, got potential because he's big and tall and strong. Fatape, small. Obviously, Olam doesn't exist, and Charlie Staines is Charlie Staines. That was the difference in the game, and I think if you're. I think heading forward, first of all, you can see there's still 4 or 5 19-year-olds in this team. Once they get to 40, 50 first grade games, it's okay. Like, Tigers will be fine.
That you just need to hold on.
It's just getting there and also not panicking. And Shane Richardson spoke quite well. I spoke it last week. Just don't fuck around with let Benji be bent. Don't sack him next year. Just let's get up and going and do that. As for the Cowboys, I think you're conceding 30 points here. It's a concern. I think
It is. It is
a massive concern. I think they're in the top 8 under sufferance. Val was great. Cole Feltz had a really, really good season, actually.
Val was great in attack.
Yeah, he's still.
His defence
I
was.
hope.
That might be the worst defensive effort of Val's career.
No, well, the worst was against us last year when they scored 60 on him, but
True.
Stafford just owned him. But
Buller just.
he's not with Val Holmes. Just quickly, isn't with us in defence.
And it might be because the club's told him to look elsewhere.
I hope no, but he hasn't been for a while. I hope the Tigers don't think he's an answer. Like
No.
he does give us a goal kicker,
Yes.
and they've got they've got $2 million to spend next year.
I mean, if you could pick him
there's
up,
a new shiny toy.
if you could pick him up
for 5 or 6,
if you could pick him up for 5 as a goal kicker, he would. It's not too bad. Old head around.
drag into the
yeah,
favourites,
premiership winner.
You could live with that.
You could live
He
with
won't
that.
be worse than what's already there.
But if you guys went out and spent 800,000 on him,
This is my concern because now they almost have to, because you have to spend your cap. And at the moment, as it stands, there's only 2 spots in the cap. So a couple of blokes in it very rich. There's more.
We
they will
mentioned
move
it the
more
other
on.
week.
There's more
You
coming.
guys need to do what we're not doing at the Eels, and that is securing your kids coming through.
Yes.
And chuck an extra 100K on all of them, and just be like,
well, and that's for sure. Go now. Ruben Porter's train and trial. On the back of this, you should go, right, we'll give you 400 next year.
that's it.
Sign up Fainu, shore up Sione Fainu, shore up Fionnu Apollo, because someone will take, Roosters will take him next year.
Forward pay Buller.
Yeah. Well, no, he's already locked up, but he's already on 750. But
that's the thing, that you can do that
Shore
with the
up.
cap. You can pay extra.
Yeah.
All right, we've got 30 and we've got 200,000.
Lock everything else up, and then say, right, okay, how are we then going to find 4 outside backs?
That's it.
And go from there. I'm not convinced the business story's completely done and dusted. You wait till you get through November, and all of a sudden, Tigers go, we've got 900 here, Biz.
And that's...
I couldn't imagine him being at any other club bar the Tigers or Penrith things.
If it's going to be you guys, it's because you're going to offer him 300,000 to 400,000 more
They're not Penrith can.
than what Penrith can, and he's just going to want it.
Especially, which is really weird, because if you're going to... Both the Talangas are outside backs. They've got the McLeans, Dane Laurie, Peachy's retired, plus Tungo. There's another one's injured. No, May's gone now, so that's fine. It's very, there's 7 or 8 in the outside backs, and that's without mentioning probably guys they've got in reserve grade.
Exactly.
So interesting. I don't think that story's done and dusted yet, but it will be. I think they've put it to bed until after they win the grand final, I suppose.
Most likely.
Anyway, all that being said, Val was very good ball in hand in this game. I thought Lukey Nano were good. Dearden fantastic, as he has been in Drinkwater, but that's their sole points of attack. A Dearden dummy and running, and Drinkwater doing what Drinkwater does, which is run around like headless chocolates until
Drinkwater could be the best ball playing fullback in the game at the moment, in terms of just the ball
as in
playing
across the ball. Yes,
yeah.
He probably
Not the defensive and not the yardage.
Well, I think if you're thinking about it, it's probably him and Reece Walsh, and you've probably got to say Reece Walsh isn't.
Yeah.
It's despite his couple of moments on the weekend, isn't quite with us.
Yeah, like
But I think he's
not talking like the all-round game. I'm just saying
if he's on his team, they don't score a point.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, he's just very threatening when they're attacking.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, it's their sole point of attack. They said bar it did and barge over or it did and dummy go.
And that's it. He's sort of like what Tom Trbojevic was a few years ago. That players just hang off him.
Yeah.
But it's only in that 20.
Yes.
If he's trying to get metres out of his own, he struggles. He doesn't have like the metres of Edwards, and he's definitely not up there.
He's got an error in him.
That's it. He doesn't have the defensive side. But when the Cowboys are attacking, he's in everything.
Yeah. Defensive-wise, there's still issues. Tuolangi had his best game in a while because he could. I don't think he's quite been with us this year. Cole Felt, like I said, credit to him. Loves a sook, loves a sell, but has been scoring points lately. So more power to him, I guess. And, man, the takeaways, Dream Bull has been absolutely fantastic. He was fantastic again in this game. I thought he was and has been brilliant in attack for this last month. So
yeah,
there's lots of nice signs, I guess, for next year. Anything else do you want to take away from this game? Just trying to think through the rest. They all worked hard. Like it felt like 2 on-par teams, really. And one had 12 for a bit.
If you watched that game and thought it was 8th versus 10th, you'd believe it.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's a side that's right on the 8 and then another one that's trying to fight their way in but just can't do it.
Yeah. Who are you giving 3 to, Val?
Val did have a great game in attack.
Yes. Probably, like I said, probably the difference.
I had Buller in the points.
I had 3 Val, 2 Buller, and 1 to either Dearden or Samela Fainu, who was fantastic again. Well, and
again,
he made. I think he made 2 try-saving tackles. He chopped
they
down.
they don't win the game without Dearden.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to flip Dearden anywhere? Or
No, well, Buller, I don't.
I'm happy to give Dearden down the match, to be honest. I think about this.
I-
But
See, my Buller was amazing. If any, Buller was almost my 3.
I'm happy to do that. The only reason I didn't, because I'm a filthy Tigers fan.
But I thought
and
Buller was amazing.
I thought he was the best player in the field, but he
And
can't.
in the fact that you've put him above Val when he ran around Val a couple of times.
True.
Yeah.
Well, it was by default.
So
Okay,
you
let's
could-
give three to Val.
I don't know.
3 to Buller. 3 to Dream Buller.
Unless you want to go
GT.
Dearden, unless you want to go Dearden 3.
2 to Dearden. I couldn't say Dearden was man of the match.
All right,
but
Buller,
I would
Buller,
say
Dearden, Val.
Let's go with that.
All right.
Then we get to, and you get to take centre stage here. 30 to 20. Eels over the Warriors.
Do you have some type of clown music or something, or like?
Well, the Eels' defence was very much optional, as GT would say, for a good 70 minutes of this game. Not the Eels' defence, Warriors' defence.
Yeah.
Was awful.
Well, there was signs against Melbourne the week before.
Yeah.
Difference between the Warriors and Melbourne is the second the Eels stuffed up, Melbourne were able to make us pay.
Yep.
And the Warriors didn't. Just that simple.
Well, they just
Like
piled
it-
on 30 unanswered points, just about.
Yeah.
Made Desanasi look like a superstar. Made Dylan Brown look like a superstar. Made, well, they were the main 2, really. Those halves are great. I thought Desans and Gutho
Gutho was Gutho.
was tremendous. But it was just through the middle. It was just
And
fast
the
footwork from
scoreline,
the halves.
the
and
scoreline flattered the Warriors due to that late sin bin and the Eels switched off.
yeah, absolutely. It could have. It was. It was 30 to 4, 10 minutes to go.
That's it. And it really should have finished like that.
It was. What were your thoughts as a para fan? Like, it was. I thought Warriors were average, and like you really look back at those tries again and think about them. There's a lot of soft stuff through the middle there.
It was more
shouldn't happen.
I was more happy with the defensive side.
Yeah.
And though they weren't throwing a lot, it didn't matter. It's the simple fact that we were able to keep them out. All season, if you had 3 sets on our line, it was a try.
Mm-hmm.
And you normally didn't need 3 sets. But they were just able to keep turning the Warriors out. It's basic football, but it was done right. The defense, you win games on defense.
Yeah.
Unless you're a team that can score 40 and outscore your opponent, you're only going to win games on defense. I think it just comes down to players right now, like Regan Campbell-Gillard's been tapped on the shoulder apparently, saying he can go, and that's what it is. You've got players right now that are playing for their career.
Yeah.
Well,
I think both those front rowers are.
Paulo, they're saying Paulo's staying.
Yeah, right.
But I think that's just what it's come down to.
RCG's almost tailor-made for the Dragons. I just thought, just completely random thought, they want a front rower.
Or
A bloke that can
or
do.
the Bulldogs.
Yeah, like a bloke that's not going to let you down. It's going to go through the motions, and no, I shouldn't say that. He's better than that. But a bloke that's not going to let you down and get in and just produce his standard 50 minutes of good stuff. They're the 2 that need him.
Brendan Hands, I thought, had another great game as well.
Yeah.
But we don't have a long kicking game without Moses, and that kind of the Warriors never really made the most of that.
Yeah.
Never really got.
Because they don't have a long kicking game.
No, and I think that was something that they weren't able to pin us down in the corners. So they had all this possession, couldn't score from it. When we finally made the break, they weren't then able to pin us back down in the corner.
Yeah.
What do you say? We're playing Penrith this week. They don't give us a chance. They didn't give us a chance last week. Don't give us. It's even less of a chance this week.
And it, which traditionally you beat them in this contest
We
year,
do.
but we'll get to that in a preview. It's I don't know, this is a weird round. I know there's upsets, but it's a weird round to really properly analyse because I just don't like Warriors played like shit. Their defence was awful, and Eels played better than them. They were.
And
they did the jobs in the right times. And
The
the right
Warriors,
places.
they weren't making the finals.
No.
The Eels have something to play for. Don't get the spoon.
Yeah. There's 4 blokes I'd even mention for the Warriors. Fennell Blake was good again. Barnett, season of his life. Chance tries his arse off. Probably the best Kiwi on the field. Bar, I suppose you're 5'8". He's Kiwi, isn't he? Dallin and Roger both. So both try hard. run lots of meters, but they're just missing something else.
Yeah.
They're missing intent now, and they just default to the mean. They've gone from where they've come from 5 years. Last year was an anomaly, and now they're back to where they were.
Yes.
What else can we say? Good signs for, Maddo got through his work. All the back rowers for Parramatta got through their work. All bar the I'm just looking at stats. Very, very stat poor game for everyone. Gutho, fantastic. Brown, fantastic. Desanagi, dangerous. The finish is finished. Like, what else do you take from this?
We're hopefully now not getting the spoon because I think
you're too clear now.
I'm still worried about you guys beating us that last round.
And Tigers finished with Souths by Para, which is incredible that the wooden spoon.
Not wrong.
Will come down to that.
So hopefully that's the 2 points that keep us from the spoon.
It will be a wooden spoon game, which is incredible.
Yeah.
We should have barbecue and
yeah, let's do it.
Do
is it
fun.
What day is it?
I don't know, it'll be Sunday.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway,
there's nothing. It's
yeah. This is a nothing happening game. Let's move on. Who you want to give some points to there?
Brown, RC, and Hands were my top three.
Yeah,
I had no worries in that.
I went Brown 3. I was giving Chance numbers there because I thought he was the best. Or Barnett, one of them. But
they played the Eels and couldn't win. I can't give a point to the Warriors.
Yeah, okay, no, fine. But Brown, RC, and Hands?
They were my three.
Yep, let's go with that. It means little in the grand scheme of things.
Definitely.
So who cares? All right, then we get to this game, 40-34. Last try, well, wasn't last try one, but typical Dolphins game. Another 10 minutes, they probably win.
This game
again,
is
was
why the
very
Roosters
much
cannot
optional.
win the comp.
No way in hell. I agree with you because, again, another one where you look at the defensive side of the Roosters. If Penrith had played them, they would have scored 60 on the Roosters.
Yeah. And they
Full
wouldn't
strength.
And they wouldn't have scored 40.
And they wouldn't score 40. Exactly right.
Sam Walker got a couple of lucky bounces, and yeah, it looks amazing. And well done to him.
Oh, fantastic! And if you go and watch, if you're going to go watch the 5-minute video package, incredible.
Yeah, 100%. But that doesn't happen to top teams.
No, bounce of the ball.
Yep.
Particularly doesn't.
But this is, we've been saying this now for 6 weeks. The Roosters can score points at will, but they cannot defend.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they cannot win the comp.
And the Roosters are the ones coming third or fourth, whether they're that are probably going to cop Ashley Klein in an elimination final. Probably going to be the 12 men for a good 20 minutes of it, unfortunately. And this is a sad state. And after 5 years doing a show, this is a sad fact. They're going to cop something like that.
Yep.
Radley or
Rhea Hargreaves or
Manu, they're all now flagged.
They are.
Cheese, they're all flagged. There's 5 that are flagged, and like I said, they're probably going to cop G or Klein, and you have grave fears. That said, it was a thoroughly entertaining game.
It was.
And Sam Walker taking the piss for that first 20 minutes was cool. But it was, as you said, it was more a proof of concept of they can't win the comp.
No.
And I don't think they'll win the comp next year.
No. Until they can... history shows you need to be able to you need to average less than 20 points a game against you.
Yeah.
Well, they almost had that doubled against the side that we've pretty much said can't make it now.
And there was probably 2 or 3 try-saving efforts along the way.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck and a bounce of the ball with some support play. It's 40 all or 40.
It's so not Rooster-like.
No. Even at the start of this year, their red line defense is fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. And this is, now it doesn't exist.
Yeah. We're having similar conversations like we did with the Sharks. The only difference is the Roosters are winning this game because they can outscore their opponents.
Correct. And I'll, when we get there, I'll tell you what, Sharks wouldn't have won that game if South was full strength.
No. I said if Latrell Mitchell plays.
Yeah.
But that's in saying that, Cody Walker, we'll get there. But
that's a different story. But look, Teddy.
What is Sam Walker worth? What's his value?
Whatever someone pays him in this market. Whatever someone pays him.
Is he $1 million player?
I don't think he wins your comp. But who does? What's Mitch Mose on 1.2?
Something like that.
He probably is $1 million player. Should he be? No, but that's where.
So this is where if you put
we now live in quarterback land.
If you put Mitch Moses in the Roosters, they're a better side.
Yes,
because
long kicking.
Long kicking.
And better control, I think.
Yeah. Mind you, Sam Walker's only a few years in.
Yeah.
Like early 20s. Like Moses has
Yeah.
got 200 games on him.
But then
Whatever it is.
This is the other thing that shits me about the NRL is that the next day you see there's articles in the Telegraph.
And that's why.
And I know they.
Yeah.
I have the Telegraph subscription through the iPad, and you get the Courier, the Brisbane shit flow through.
And
now
that's,
they're saying, Brisbane should be signing Sam Walker as a top pro. How about the fact there's one a salary cap, two is a contract, three there's 18 other.
well, no,
16
he's
other
up.
teams in the
He's
comp.
up. He's up at the end of the year.
Yeah,
He can be.
He can negotiate.
He can negotiate. That's part of the reason.
Yeah.
Reynolds on the outer.
Yeah.
Brisbane not going well. Brisbane not going to make the 8. Reynolds only has a year to go.
So flash forward to 2027. Lockie Galvin's playing 6 for the Roosters. Sam Walker's at the Broncos. Cleary's still at Penrith, and who knows who's where at Melbourne. And it's like this is all that matters anymore. It's becoming Premier League. It's becoming EPL.
Yeah.
And any 20-year-old kid comes through and wants to play for them because that's how you win a comp,
Well,
regardless of salary cap.
Well, that's it. I actually, I read something
Matt
about
Tripp
that.
came out and goes, well, it doesn't matter because our players will play for half, or they'll play for others because we're going to win 4 comps.
You know the salary
Which
cap's
is funny because they haven't won a comp in a long time yet.
You know the salary cap's broken when the team coming last lose their best prop to the team coming first.
Yep.
And the team coming second last lose their best upcoming outside back to the team coming second that's just won 3 comps in a
And
row.
where do you reckon Charlie Guymer's going to go if you're going to frame a market? Do you reckon he's going to go to... and he's played 3 first-grade games, been good in all of them. I can't imagine he's going to go to the Dragons or the Tigers.
He's the type of
he
guy...
said he's leaving.
No, he's come out and said he's not. It was his manager.
Right.
Who potentially...
Which is half the problem.
I think
with this.
I think he's another Isaac Moses. I could be wrong. But Isaac Moses is a cancer in the NRL.
Absolutely is.
And Melbourne have said they won't deal with him. The Roosters said they won't deal with him.
Bulldogs won't deal with him.
Bulldogs won't deal with him. Every club just needs to say, see you later.
Yeah. And cop, whoever you might cop.
Yep.
Don't worry about
And that's
Yeah.
it. Just, you know what? I
think Manly... No, Manly, he had his teeth in Manly.
He had his...
Yep. He's now... Guess where he's now? He can see Parramatta and Tigers, and he goes, well, I've got my claws here.
Well, and that it already started this week with Moses.
Yeah.
Moses won't be there.
Yeah.
He'll be leaving. It's just, all right, fine, let Moses leave. And while you're at it, everyone, Isaac, all your players can go.
Yeah.
And we just do not want to deal with you anymore because our cap will be in a better situation.
Yes.
He's been deregistered for a reason previously.
The tampering or something, wasn't it?
It had to do with
remember.
I'm pretty sure it was to do with our salary cap when we got busted.
Yeah.
Because we come last and still we're over the cap.
Anyway, here we are. In this game, in terms of this, I agree with what you've said. Let's try and stay focused a bit and without going too much into therapy. Teddy was fine. Wasn't his greatest game. Swaley's come back in good form since his good try-scoring form.
Joey Manu with the high tackle, not Sinbin. Oh, no, he was Sinbin. He was Sinbin. Yeah. He made a good comeback after injury, though.
Crichton was good. They shut him down pretty well, Crichton, but he had a couple of nice... He had one nice touch or try and a couple others that were shut down.
Yep.
Bradley, I still like an edge. Connor Watson does his job.
What I like the
everything's
most...
good. Like, it was just
what I like the most, though, I know they lost. There was no superstar in the Dolphins. It was finally that team effort again that they've sort of been lacking.
Yeah.
And it was just unfortunately come up against the Roosters who know how to score points.
You can make arguments that they could have and should have won
Yes.
the last 8 weeks, really.
Well, you take out that first 15 minutes where the Roosters and Sam Walker had the bounce of the ball, they win the game. It was
100%. Yeah, yeah.
It was one of their better performances.
Averillo was good. Herbie's been great.
Plath.
Boss,
Plath is playing Origin next year for
Max
Queensland.
Plath is the new Hopgood.
He's amazing.
He's playing. Well, he's getting at least 2 points here. He was fantastic out of hooker. I think
And he's not a hooker.
I think he led the tackles. Scored a try.
Scored a try, set up
assist.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was brilliant. For the little nugget, I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
He's
Becoming one of my favourite players.
Yes, I love
A lot of
watching
these blokes in
the
this
Dolphins
team-
play.
Yes, like
for
all these blokes.
Hammer
Yeah,
and Plath
Yes.
and Trey Fuller when he gets on.
and Herbie.
And
But Towers, like I next year is going to be so interesting. I know a lot's next year, but also I've reached a point in my brain that only Penrith can win the comp. So like I don't know what to analyse anymore. So maybe Melbourne, maybe the Bulldogs. Next year is going to be so interesting to see what this team does under Christian Wolf.
Yes.
And how much Bennett was or was not.
Will they
involved in
have
this
the
team.
drop-off effect that South
everyone-
and
the hangover
Dragons and Newcastle have had?
Exactly
And
right.
Brisbane. They've all had
Exactly
it.
right. Yeah,
But the difference is Wolfswick's kind of been there since the start.
that's right.
And it was
This
always
is
the plan.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like if Benji got to be under
Sheen-
Bennett instead of Sheens.
Oh, yeah. For
it
5
might
years.
have been
Yeah.
a different thing. And I think I hope they don't miss too many tricks because this is still a youngish. It's from ironically because we talked about it at the start of the year. Gateau is a kid, Plastic kid. Hammer's still only young. I think Herbie and Jake. Avrilo's older. Herbie's I think
Their forwards
mid-20s.
are old. The forwards
They
that
do
they
need to find
signed,
some. They do need to
like
find
the Bromwich
as we've
brothers
said,
and that.
but they're getting
TPJ,
they
they're
get
talking
Flegler
about
back.
losing.
Yeah, they reckon he's going to get
South, he's going to follow Wayne.
They get Flegler back.
They're losing Aitken to South as well, I believe.
Yeah, they're big losses, so they need to fill. And Ray Stone and Martin Nichols aren't getting any younger,
No.
so they
Ray
do need to
still,
fill-
Ray Stone's young, but
he's just spent.
he's an interchange. You know, like some players. Yes, he's NRL material, but he's not a starter. He's just like that. He's good for 30 minutes a game type player.
You'd be more excited if they had if they could go and get like a Finafuiaki or even a Nanai or
Well, TPJ's perfect. It's just unfortunate they're losing him.
yeah. So interesting.
They can still. They're not premiership threat, but they can still. If they can pull that performance off for the rest of the season, they make the 8.
Yes.
Because they're only they're 2 points out.
Yeah, you can make the argument they should have beat. Well, where they get reamed, Canberra. One of them, they probably nearly should have beat Penrith. Should have beat.
Well, they should have beat Penrith.
Could have won this game. Could have should have
Yep.
won this game. Could have should have beat Melbourne. Etc. Etc. So
And it's.
they're not far away, and I like
No.
the team. They're one of my favourite teams to watch. Maybe it's
Yep.
have a soft spot, but
It's
it is what it
it's
is.
one of those seasons where you look back and think, if we won all our games that we lost by 6, we would have been a top 4 side. They're almost that team this
Well,
year.
they keep as Wayne keeps saying, goes, well, we ran out of time. We ran out, But the fact you're chasing at that point is the issue.
Yes.
What do we take from this game? Anything else?
No,
Given that was a terrible analysis. Are you giving Sam Walker
Sam
3?
Walker has to be. They don't win without
I'm
him.
giving Max 2
Yep.
and 1 to either. Oh gosh, where do we even go? I was sort of thinking Swiley. I guess you can always make the case for Teddy. Connor Watson was good. Tupanua got a double.
Yeah, Tupanua's.
Averillo.
Tupanua did kind of get him over the line at the end.
Sam 1 to Tupanua?
Yep.
Alrighty. Cheers, bro.
Yeah, right.
Alright, I really hope that first half hour was in autofocus because the camera's been a bit of a dingbat, but we'll find out. And we're going to get to the Super Saturday, 46-18 Titans over the Broncos. We're both pretty bullish on the Titans heading into last
It
week.
was almost like the bet of the week.
And what were the prices?
That was $2, like $40, $2.50 or something. Like in football terms, that's a good price.
Good price, fantastic price. It was 18-12 half time or close to it.
It was 12-0 early, and it just.
Yeah, Reece Walsh had 2 fantastic moments in that first half, 2 kicks for himself. That was it. And that was the extent of the Brisbane excitement.
They lost Haas early. What time did they lose Mam?
I'll tell you. Let me just pull
Because
it up.
Haas did start like a wrecking ball.
Yes, and they're in a world of trouble without him. Let me just look here. Ezra went off 37 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's quite deep.
Yeah.
But that second half was appalling. That was as bad a half, and I follow the Tigers. That was as bad a half of football defensively as I've seen. The outside backs, and these are all, and this is when people say, oh, this is a top 4 squad. Fuck off they are if you can defend like this. Same as when people say that about South. They got Richie Kennedy.
Stags cost me $1,000 by not scoring. Like they're not a top 4 squad.
Oh, that must be. But but credit to the Titans. That second half was absolutely brilliant. Keo Keeney, sensational. Like
What a
sensational.
different world it would be. Those 6-7 weeks at the start of the season where they lost everything by 6 points. Imagine,
that's scary.
Imagine they won 4 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're a team that would be in the 8 with momentum.
Yes, and be scared. They feel a lot like Newcastle last year. They
Yes.
really do. I don't.
It's
I think
just
they
that
can
they
just fall
started.
short.
They just started.
They feel like Cowboys to you. That's
Yeah.
just what this team feels
Yeah.
like. And I've said there's going to be one that comes out of the pack. This is they. They'll towel some teams up this next few weeks too.
Yes.
And because it's young kids with confidence. And
they are flying high.
And then they've got Kieran Foran leading around, who's been absolutely fantastic. Digs into the line every chance he gets.
They're
Gives
only
everyone
2
else
wins
some
out of
time
the
and
8.
space. They can make that.
And that's what I'm saying. If they had won, if they'd won 2 of them, you're talking about them they're the side that makes the 8 that's not in the 8.
Yeah.
If they won 3 of them, they're in the 8.
I think they're the only side.
Yep. And if they'd won 4 of those early ones that they had lost, we're talking about potentially top 4.
Yeah.
Because they've got the momentum on their side.
And this is the thing about confidence. Your Kellys and Sammys of the world are now world beaters. Just a bit of a chest out, puffed up, get them going. They're the same blokes who were pot planning every second week last year and the year before. And they've done this with still no halves on paper. They've probably found a great combination. No AJ Brimson, no Tino.
And you look at their run home.
Yeah, what is it?
Sharks
They'll tell them.
at home.
Yep, I'll tell them.
Dragons away.
I'll tell them.
Roosters at home. They could win that.
They can win that, and they have a good record against
Knights away.
They'll beat them.
Last round, Panthers, who could be resting players.
Who probably will rest players unless it's a...
They could. They could
They're
win.
on here.
They could honestly
They're
win
on.
all 5.
I had a bet with...
And if they win all 5, you wouldn't want to be playing them in the finals.
I've got a $1,000 bet with a friend of the show, Jamie Nelson, that they make the top 4 in the next 5 years. And I thought it was off his head. We did this 3 months ago. He offered me $500 cash out the other day, and I said no. Are they a top 4 team in the next 5 years?
I don't know. How do they go? Because they're doing a lot with foreign involved.
Yeah,
he
that's
won't
right.
be there in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I'm
been
not
saying that.
panicking, but who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But they feel like the team that next year will just run 8th. They're the new Warriors and the new Knights and the new...
Well, they're going to be better next year because Tino will be back.
And I'll have Boyd's in and around there, but I wouldn't
AJ
change his
Brimson
half.
will play more.
AJ's there. Where he plays, I don't know.
Like,
They're missing a couple other back rowers too. And
but Hasler was confident the whole time. He just like, we just got to get the little things right, and it'll come good.
they're doing a lot good. They're the similar Dolphins. They're one of my favourite teams to watch because they're just not boring.
Yes.
They're happy to push passes. They're
Yep.
happy to offload. They break, like your Sammys and Kellys break lots of tackles. Your Keeney who just makes shit up. Lofi Camperera is the one you want in the wing that if you make half a break, every team needs one, and lots don't. But he's the hammer. He's the Fox. He's the one that if you give him the ball and he's got open space, he's scoring.
Yeah.
And the Saab, he's one of those sort of
Yep.
guys. Verrills and Randall, for what they've been thrown into this year, have had fantastic seasons. Like, have just got through what they've had to do every week and done it. Bo Fermor should have been in Origin. We've mentioned that.
Yeah.
And this is the Fafita doing pretty much no blowaway stuff for a long time now.
Well, yeah, here you go. Round 6, they lost by 1.
Yeah.
Round 7, 4. Round 8, 3. Round 9, 2. Round 10, 2. Round 11, 4. Like, that there cost them. That's 6 weeks.
100%. Yeah. Yep. And you look at now.
And you look at some of those, like, one of them was Melbourne in that run. Like, the Warriors, Manly, potential top 4 side. Cowboys, sorry, they beat the Cowboys. Newcastle, who are above them, they should have beat. Like, they did lose to the Tigers at one point there, but they've beaten the Sharks.
Yeah.
They're going to be the team. What if?
Absolutely. I think they still make the 8 off that because I wouldn't be ploughing into Canberra.
The
Canberra
fact that they're 2 wins out
Canberra
hurts them.
Canberra.
Like, they do need to
just never
win.
get my
They
head
do
around.
need to win all 5.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that's what I'm
and they
saying.
need
Like
results
that,
to go their
yeah.
way.
If they'd won
2 of those. They're
2
sweet.
of those,
Yeah, sweet.
you're saying they're making the 8.
Mhm. What's happened? Why? And they've just put their head down and started being confident.
I think it was always there, and Des just said they were building.
Yeah.
We're building. And they've built. Unfortunately for them, I think it's just they're going to fall 1-2 wins out of the 8.
Old enough is good enough in this game. Hey, Kia Keeney, Cam Pereira's second season, Jojo Fafita, Jaden Campbell. These are all just kids, man. If they were other clubs, they probably wouldn't even be playing first grade.
Yep.
Or if they're at your shitty clubs, they're playing and being exposed, and everyone's going, "Oh, they're not quite good enough."
Yep.
From the confidence, getting down into them and having the right people around them is a massive thing. So I guess they must have a great series system up there. And I think Kieran Foran, it can't be understated what he's done this year.
He's done very
been
well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Some of the games he's single-handedly dragged them through. He's got a couple of games, he's got a hat trick and a few tries. Here, I thought it was first half was great, dragging him back into this game, and that's what's brought the best out of Campbell and the best out of these blokes around him. And it's almost a career season, given how busted he's been, given he struggles at two other clubs for a lot of it.
Yeah, it's the
Bulldogs,
best he's
and
played
it's
in a long time.
Outstanding. I think he's going to do it again next year, which hopefully it's not that one too many.
Yeah, you don't want the Johnson
But you got
effect.
Verrills and Randall who have, as I said, they've been thrown in, been brilliant, and two world-class back rowers, really. So kudos to them.
With a world-class lock to return.
Correct. Or prop if they really
Or
wanted
prop,
to.
depending on where they want to put him. They've got a State of Origin prop in there as well with Mo,
Yeah, Mo's
who's
been
been
great.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he has been brilliant.
Like, it's almost the perfect balance. The only issue is Foreign's pretty much only got a season left.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
It's
So
almost the perfect balance of the old heads in the forwards, which is what you need, with the young backs that are just
if
not
if
scared
they
of anything.
find one, or they, if they find a, but it's just all of a sudden you have this season, and maybe in the next year, all of a sudden maybe a Mitch Moses is happy to go there.
And that's the thing.
You never know. You never know this stuff.
Say they finish 4 or 5 next year.
Yeah.
And travelling well at the start of the year, when those negotiations start happening, that's how you sign good players.
Exactly right.
They're building.
Hey, come here and we'll win the comp.
We're building, and you're the missing piece for us to win the comp.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that's how you get your top line players.
What do we even say about Brisbane? They were awful.
They were.
Oates
We put the red pen through them 2 weeks ago, and
Oates just needs to retire. And then your Maranatha Stags all of a sudden went from world beaters, and they're all lightning quick. They're all down to footballers, but just not with us. But this forward pack though is the concern. Apart from Carrigan and obviously with Haas injured, it was just exposed, and it has been exposed now. We keep using the word frantic. It was again.
who did they lose to? Who was it? Flegler. They lost.
Flegler.
He has been dramatically underrated.
Turns out he was sort of the glue that
Yeah.
held it together. I'm showing there was another couple, but they had to let them go.
They lost one back to the Titans. Herbie?
Herbie went to Dolphins.
Dolphins, sorry. But like they haven't really lost too many more from their origin. In saying that, the Eels lost Papali'i and Reed and went from first to
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
like
The
your
comp is,
second or
I keep
whatever it
saying,
was.
this comp is so close that
Yeah.
it's not. It's form based a lot,
yeah.
but it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're going to now sit down in a bold prediction show or a season preview and say how these blokes are going to make the 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we move on. Oh, who are you giving 3 to? We're 3, 2, 1. What did I
3
have?
Titans players. Take your pick.
3 to let's go 3 to Keeney, 2 to Foran. 3 to 3 to Campbell, 2 to Keeney, 1 to Foran. How's that?
My other one was Jojo Fafita with his
Absolutely good,
nice
yeah.
little hat trick.
He did get a nice hat trick. Have to give him one. Who are you dropping out?
Well, it can't be Keeney and it can't be Foran, I don't think.
I guess that's fair. So 3 to Keeney, 2 to Foran, 1 to Jojo.
Yep.
And then we get to 18-16, the upset potentially of the year. Full strength, just about a full strength Melbourne against the Dragons.
It's only the second time they've lost with that spine. The only other time they've lost with that
This year
spine,
or ever?
ever. The only other time
Bullshit.
they lost with that spine is when Pappenhausen got injured during a match.
Really?
And it's the first time Sloane wasn't even born the last time the Dragons won.
Dragons haven't won in
25
Melbourne
years.
since 1999. Yes.
Yep. Sloane was 22 this year.
And they came up again. They went to Melbourne and they came up against the full strength Melbourne and they fucking bashed the front door down. They belted them in the first part.
Considering the odds and everything, I think it is the upset of the year.
I think so. I think so.
They
started- I think
because
it started- I think
got
$8 head to
They
head.
got flogged against Penrith the week before.
Yeah.
And we chatted last week saying Melbourne's attack is potentially better at the moment. This could be 60.
Yep.
To hold them to 3 tries.
Jaden Sewer, sensational.
Yeah. Sloan, amazing
well,
after coming back.
Him and DeBellin and some of those outside backs, Fane and Sully, all manned up and just said, we're going to belt these fuckers.
Little,
and it's
having
funny.
a go at Nas. The guy's a foot taller than him.
But you can't, it's funny because you can't fluke a minor premiership.
No.
But in a lot of ways, for a year I've said Melbourne aren't quite there.
Yeah.
So I guess the truth lays somewhere in between. And they just out physically. The concern was always out muscling them, and they out muscled them in this game. I said Sewell fantastic, but like your Sully's, Fayanese, everyone getting in their faces, even to a Palutu, and then DeBellin.
The biggest thing's going to be, can the Dragons back that up?
Probably not, but we'll find out.
And that's Melbourne will probably come out this week. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who they're playing. Probably win by 30. Be like, we've got a point to prove now.
But exactly right. Exactly right.
And that's the difference between a top side and one that's only just rising for.
But I reckon if you ask Craig Bellamy how happy he was about any of their performances this year, he'd be unhappy about 20 out of 22 of them.
Yeah.
But they kept winning, and they do keep winning.
Winning sides win.
Yeah.
And Penrith will eventually go through what Melbourne are going through now,
Absolutely.
where they're not the best side in the comp, but will be first because winning sides win.
Yeah. But,
when Penrith finally start that downward slide, like obviously they can't stay first forever.
Yeah.
There will be a season, the first season after it starts, whether it's next year, 2-3 years' time, there will be a point where they're still at the top of the ladder, but they're not playing anywhere near what they were.
Exactly.
And
But also because this comp is so much thinner, your world-class players get you much deeper as well. Harry Grant was brilliant in this game.
Yep.
But no one else was. Munster tried. Hughes tried. They were all pretty good. I can't knock them.
It's just
Puppy's not quite with us.
It's arguably the Dragons' best performance in.
Well, Ben Hunt said that. Ben Hunt actually after the game
Since
said it was his best game in it.
I was going to say at least
for
5
half
years.
an hour they just manned up and said we're going to defend 6 points, and they did.
But that's again, this is how good this competition is.
Yes, and people don't quite realise it, and confidence is key. I think at some point youth is key, and I think at some point, well, form and intent is the biggest thing. And whatever Flanagan did, he got the best out of him.
Yep.
Young Flanagan was good, but he had a good game. Ben Hunt was fantastic, but it was DeBellin and Sully and especially Sewer that just really hammered home here. And probably a week ago we were just saying there's only 2 hopes, and there you go. Okay, well maybe there's not. Maybe this opens the door for a Bulldogs to be half a chance at some point. You know what I mean?
Because that defensive effort was a Bulldogs effort.
Exactly. Yeah. But he got him up. They got him up for it, and that's a great win. Sloan, he sent Sloan to reserve road for a week. Comes back a double, a very pretty double.
I thought he was amazing.
He was great. Whether he was sent there with a message, whether he wasn't, he came back and proved his point in this game, and I think that's fantastic for him. He's a bloke I haven't necessarily rated the highest along the way, but this was a brilliant game from him, and it just makes you think. I think it just, and I think with all your top 2 teams especially, you sit back and go, okay, it happened. We'll worry about it come prelim final time. But it made you also think, okay, the cracks we always suspected are still there.
We've been saying all year that the defence of Melbourne hasn't been the best.
No.
But their defence was okay. It was their attack that just
flooded a bit.
That wasn't there this game.
It was Harry Grant for 2 individual efforts, essentially.
Yeah.
And that was it, really.
Because they've been winning.
They shut down Munster. They did shut down Munster pretty well.
Because that's the thing. Melbourne have been winning their games. Season's gone past. It feels like if you done well to score more than 3 against them. Where this year it's they've been winning games 30-24 type score lines. Where
and then they're never the pretty backline team.
No,
they're never the pop of a scrum, Cleary, Luai, Tungo, to whoever it might be, bang, 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 scoring, or the Chooks do it better than both of them. They're very much who's going to come up with some bullshit in the middle or kick to Warbrick. It's very much for the best spine in the comp. and they do connect well as a spine at times, you can't sit here and go, what is Melbourne's pet play?
Yeah.
In this game, it was Harry Grant pulling some shit out of his ass. And in most games, it's Jerome Hughes doing that.
Yep.
And I'm sure come grand final time, it might be Cam Munster doing that. But they just shut it down. They just shut down. There was no systems, and Dragons were great. So you got to give full credit to them. Like, they were great. I'm just trying to think who else I want to talk about. Lomax, game's premier winger. Him and Boozer are now the conversation. Again, he's kicking obviously the difference. What else do you take away? Qatar again, good.
Yeah.
Still issues. I still don't necessarily trust your Warbricks Andersons defensively. That
The worst part is for the Dragons, I still don't see them finishing the 8.
No.
Even though
Well, we just
that
said-
win's got them into the 8.
we just said 2 weeks. Well, we just said in 2 weeks they got Titans.
Yep.
Who are you going to back?
Yeah.
But maybe maybe Ben Hunt can get them home. Maybe they can.
Yep.
But yeah. I went 3 points Sewer,
Yep.
2 points Sloan, and I had sort of Harry Grant, Ben Hunt in and around that mix.
Happy for that. Flip a coin. Happy either way. Sewer 3 definitely. Sloan 2 definitely.
Fuck it, give it to Ben Hunt for the 1. And then we got 20-6 Sharks over Souths in a bit of a bludger of a game, which,
This was painful.
to be
watch.
honest, if Souths had had, I don't say if they had Cody Walker, but if they had Latrell 100%, they win this game. Well, 90. If they had Cody, I reckon it's 20-14 because Souths had plenty of time and opportunity and ball.
Another game I missed out on a grand.
Didn't have.
Gagai got no. There was just nothing in attack for South.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Jack Whiten was the whole sole point of attack and
The young kid,
and-
unfortunately, that they had playing.
yeah,
He's just-
a non-event. Whiten tried his ass off. But his first motion is always to run, and he doesn't. There was no creativity in his South's team.
No.
When they had them stripped to the right, 3 or 4 times I'd throw out to the right, and Richie Kenner's 40 metres away. I don't know what he's doing, let alone in first grade on that field. But they'll go bang, 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 and then the centre's back there somewhere. I reckon there was 2 or 3 times where, yes, you should have been in the money. Unfortunately, you have to stand outside that bloke.
South are just lucky that Eels and Tigers are so bad this year.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. But there was just no
Because they've
leadership.
been shocking.
Colin Matunga's fantastic again. The rest are fine, but there's just there was no direction.
There's
Any inkling of creativity in his team, they win this game. I think.
Is it especially when Murray's not playing, arguably the worst forward pack in the comp.
Yeah, well, like I said,
Like they're
Like I said at the
props,
start of the year,
especially in the props. Like,
when Sean Kepi was going to be their
Yeah.
saviour, it's like, mate, the blokes come from Blacktown Reserve grade. Like,
yeah, like it's just.
that's
Um,
it. That's
Wayne
it.
Bennett's got
Miley's
like
fine. He run hard.
Kulamatangi has been amazing since moving to lock,
Yes,
but it's just
Bennett has his work cut out for him next year. Absolutely does.
100% he does. And because the things we're talking about is Latrell Mitchell and Cody and that playing.
Yeah.
That's very attack side of things.
Yeah.
That doesn't help their defence.
Fletcher Myers, and I know they're missing obviously AJ and the
yep.
outside backs, but Myers, Milne, Kenner, Gay Guy is barely they're probably all barely first grade. Well, probably first grade players, but not together.
It's
And as I
again,
said, Richie Kenner's getting my pot plant because God, he was bad in this game. Jai Gray, fantastic. Like their best glimpses of hopes was him running 100 metres.
their 2 to 5 arguably is the worst 2 to 5 in the comp.
Yeah, would be in the conversation. It's actually the only hope for the Tigers is they play this team in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Although knowing their luck, Latrell will be back and probably tear a new arsehole, but that's fine. Dry Gray, tick. Cam Murray, tick. Colin Matungi, fantastic. Cook was good too. That was it. But then Sharks weren't heaps better. I thought Kale Ira had his best game in ages.
Definitely. Iron Man
It was
match for me.
fantastic. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he was fantastic.
Kennedy come back well.
Yeah, I was bagging him a bit, but he had some nice touches in there. Look, Trindle had some complete brain farts at times, but it's ultimately sort of his kicking and some of his passing that got them over the line. And I thought, at the end of the day, I thought their back five was the difference. I think if you purely lined up the Sharks back 5 to the Souths back 5, that was the difference in this game of footy. So that's where I would look to. Are Sharks any hope? No. They'll get towed by some good teams. And now they've got no halfback for a little bit. So, Blake Brayley's playing there this week, so they're in a lot of trouble as well.
They're in a lot of trouble. I just... Here you go. Yeah, Sharks, Titans, Knights, Dragons, Warriors, Manly.
It's actually quite a lucky draw for them because if they'll play anyone half worth
The
decent,
Dolphins are 3 wins behind them to fall out of the 8.
no, they make the 8, but then they're just cannon fodder.
Yep.
They'll be cannon fodder for either Bulldogs or anyway
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, Cattell fantastic, Rayman fantastic, Iro game of the year, Stone Street. In fairness, was probably robbed 3 tries. I shouldn't say robbed, but they had the obstruction. Fair enough, no try, and classic old Casey with the downward pressure. It's downward pressure. It's downward pressure, but it's not downward pressure or something. Who knows? She makes it up.
Was that the one where
You had the finger on it?
If they had awarded a try, it's a try, but they didn't.
It was it was granted without downward pressure. So he had his finger on it, but no. Anyway, I don't know. But not much hope for him. Look, the forwards all did their job, as did the Rabbitohs forwards. But they've again, another game was on par teams, and they got home. 3 points, Iro.
Yep. That's hard after that.
2 to
Jai Gray
2
did
to
play
Jai
well.
Gray, 1 to Trindle.
Yep.
Let's go with that. 22-14 Panthers on the Sunday. As Dana's starting to get a headache because he's hungry. It's right. 2 to go. 24-14 over the Knights, and we got to see Penrith in action here, where we mentioned a Tungo sin bin.
Yep.
A soft penalty to finish the game, a soft penalty to lead him into half-time. Both probably, I guess, fair enough penalties, but geez, they can time it well.
It was a sloppy game for Penrith. Newcastle did play very well.
I thought Penrith didn't play great. I thought Newcastle overperformed.
Yep.
Tyson Gamble had a pretty good game, good kicking game. Took it himself without Hastings to lead the way there, and I thought he was good.
James Fisher-Harris went off early.
Yeah.
That was a big loss.
Yeah, true.
And
hang on, no, he didn't play. What are you talking about?
who went off early?
That's last week.
Yeah, didn't they lose someone early this week? You are right, it was last week. But who did they? I thought they lost someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to find it now. Who did they lose?
Not sure what you're talking about. The best moments came from the outside backs, Bizza, getting involved and setting up a try for McLean. Tungo had probably his best game of the season, actually, in what's been a quiet season, which produced a couple of points. In Casey McLean got a try along the way. Cleary, quiet game on the back of the smallish forward pack there. Scored off the back of a nice run.
Leota, he wasn't injured. He just went off.
Yeah,
And just checking the notes within the game, especially so they've had that 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Fisher-Harris into Leota. And now Leota was the one that went off, not injured, obviously returned later in the game, but they missed that massively.
Well, this is what I've said for next year.
Yeah.
It's hard for them. That's why I half thought they were chances Stefano, because next year, when Fish goes, Lindsay Smith's been great. Liam Henry's been great. Eisenhuth does his job, but it's a long way away from that.
Yeah.
And they're going to miss that.
Because Leota is a starting prop. So they've got starting prop coming off with another one coming on.
Yeah.
And the difference was there this week because the Fish wasn't there, and it was when Leota went off, there was a clear drop in.
I agree. Because they're not big either. Those bench back, like your Lindsay Smiths and Henry's Rod, still feel like back rows rather than props.
Yep.
Yo was great again.
Yes.
Sorensen had a really good game, actually. I thought Sorensen was good. And Liam Martin, fantastic. Liam Martin's, since Origin, has been outstanding, but that's it. And all I'm going to say is I think they're going through the motions a bit. I got a bit outraged because of, the high shots and things like that, but they got their job done against Newcastle, who probably overperformed. But that said, you look at it and it'll gamble through a forward pass for the Frizzell try. There's another bits and pieces in Isco. Okay, best side probably won. Wasn't over enthusiastic. Ponga good, got knocked out once, stayed on. I said Frizzell good. Gamble probably the best of them. Frizzell, Marzu had a good game. The back, Marzu and Lucas were both good. I don't really know how
It kind of was. It was a nothing game, wasn't
I
it?
mean, like
it's
just. I was sitting over there with my young fella watching it, and I can't take much more out of the game than that.
Penrith were just in the motions of we'll just get the win without doing anything flash.
And I think you're going to see that for the next 2 weeks from Penrith, and that's we've said it for 5 years. They hit this phase.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks they'll get Edwards back.
Yep.
And
they'll get Fish back,
and then everything will be sweet. I think that's what we can say.
There's not much to talk about. Like it was almost a non-event.
Youngie Yongi was fine. He had the moment earlier where he fluffed the 40-20, but had a lot to do.
Casey McLean does look like a good player coming through.
And if Tango plays like this every week, they're going to be sweet. Like that back three look good here. I almost want to give Biz a man of the match, to be honest. But happy with a Tango. Couple of tries and an effort there. 3 Tango. Yo was good and Martin were both good. 3 Tango, 2 Bizza, and 1 too young. I'm not young. Tyson Gamble I thought was pretty good. So before he got his head taken off there. Was it him?
Ponga. Wasn't it Ponga?
Oh, it was Ponga.
Ponga got his head taken off.
Gamble won. And I'm going to wrap up with a cracker, actually. Bulldogs, a weird game, I say cracker. 22-18, Bulldogs led to riots in the streets after they beat the 10th place Raiders. 22-18. And I think the story of this game was that, yes, I think Stephen Crichton rightfully confirmed himself as Buyer of the Year. That was...
Buyer of the Year, Captain of the Year, Centre of the Year. Like that Daly M night,
he's having a good night out.
He's having a good night.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, jeez, they've just shown it again. The high shot. How's he not sin-binned?
Well, Tungo. Yeah. I don't even start me.
How's he... He just...
the more you look at it, that's worse than...
He just fucking nailed him.
Yep, with the shoulder, direct contact.
Run out of the line, direct shoulder to the head.
Yep, on report and a fine.
You know what?
Good stuff.
If Ponga stays down there, it's a send-off. But because Ponga bounces up...
If Ponga rolls over and just lies on his head...
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from that. This game, a rocking Belmore, sold out Belmore, which is now apparently restricted to members only. But they were plucky, the Raiders. They were in this game for a long time.
This is what we said would happen.
They just don't get beat, the Raiders.
It's Papali's 300th game. They were going to be up for it. But the Bulldogs would find a way to win 1-6.
That's exactly what happened. The way they won was through Stephen Crichton.
Stephen Crichton.
2 individual efforts.
Yep.
And then a try assist for Fox. So absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
After Origin, I just thought he was the best centre in the game, and I have no reason to doubt that. He was absolutely brilliant here again.
Who comes close to him?
Like,
there isn't one.
Not right now, as good as him.
Yeah. Like, there's no one that you can say, perfect wingers. You've got Lomax and Bizza.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple others that are not far behind.
Yeah.
There's just... It is Crichton than Daylight.
Good to see Fox back, benefiting from one of him, and he was happy. Carraz was great again. Connor Tracy, great again. Like they went through... and Toby Sexton was very good. The
more I'm looking at that side, the more I think if they did have a better half...
Yeah. I was interested because they haven't renewed Sexton. I believe there's interest from a few... maybe even from the Gold Coast about going back there. Yep. But I think in their heart of hearts, they think if they get a prop and then get a Mitch Moses...
If they can get a prop and a full halfback,
they
are a genuine premiership threat.
Reed's been good again.
Yep. It was funny watching him get penalised for mouthing off.
The 10 metres.
No. When he got the late shit, it was a little push in the back and he tried to milk it for everything it was worth. And...
fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Fogarty led the fight back. Fogarty's kicking game was again... He's been great since he's come back.
Really he could be the type of player they're missing.
I agree with
that long kicking game.
Absolutely. Well, they've got Burton in terms of long kicking game.
But Burton's got the big bomb.
But precision stuff, yeah.
Burton just puts it up and just hits and hopes.
Weeks Ruppen, try their ass off.
Yep.
Saved a couple of tries. Kept them in the game for a long time.
Yep.
Tapane, the best of the forwards, as you like. Tapane, best of the forwards. Young tried well. What else do you say from this game? It's they're going to miss Zakowski. Another injury there. I can see the Bulldogs making a grand final, getting towed by Penrith. I can see them just being like the fourth on the list. Sounds really, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, that their defence could beat Melbourne, could beat the Roosters, could beat Manly.
Yeah.
Like,
But then Nathan Cleary beats them.
And it'll be one of those ones, because they haven't really been blown away.
Yeah.
Penrith could put 4 tries on them in the first 20 minutes.
And then what? And then they're fucked.
And then they just...
Yeah. And I think that's any finals game. If they have to chase 12, they're no good.
Yeah.
But Melbourne,
again,
that's not how Melbourne play. It's not
It's one of those... They're one of those teams that... Because Penrith don't like chasing as well.
Which is the interesting thing about a draw, potentially, if they meet the Chooks, that's where it's interesting. Because Chooks could beat them by 30 just because they won't know what to do.
Yes.
If,
But those top sides don't know how to chase because they're not used to chasing.
Exactly.
So if the Dogs could get the first 2, they would back their defence in to win. We're going to win fucking 12-6.
Yeah.
Which is good. There's nothing wrong with it because even though the game's low scoring, they're still entertaining.
No. I agree. And then just look at bits of pieces here. Baylor Hayward gets his fucking head taken off every week, but keeps coming back. Is he still with us? Did he get hurt in this game? No. Kurt Mann, we laughed when they signed him, but God, he gets involved and he gets
Bronson
Cherry. Cherry the same. Cherry's been fantastic. What happened a few times in this game, because obviously they're looking for Critter, but that second half they went for that left-hand sweep, and Cherry nearly burst them open. That could become, once we get to this back a few weeks, they will put 40 on someone where Sherry and Fox will score double each or something. Like they'll just rip some team apart. Looked at draws. And then we throw Connor Tracy in, who obviously didn't do what he did last week. Is Curran okay? Was he?
He went back. He come back on. He was fine,
Yeah, and then obviously Kicker as well. We know what he does. So I think they can be that grand final team that gets beaten.
Yeah.
That get there and then as it has been for 5 years, it's what happens next.
Yes.
It's not what happens this year, but fair enough. Yeah, be excited. Ultimately, they did only win by 4, and Raiders tried very hard.
But that's it. That's what good teams do.
Exactly. Win ugly.
They win ugly.
You win ugly, and that's what they did. Entertaining game. I wasn't bored at any stage in this game. I'm trying to think what else I want to talk about. It's just Canberra. I struggle to talk about them anyway. Yeah, very good physical game. Critter gets 3, though, and without a doubt. Where were you thinking next? I was thinking sort of either Sexton or Sherry for 2.
I had Sherry for 2.
And then, fair enough. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
And then one for Tarpanay or Fogarty.
Tarpanay was either. They were both very good. Imagine how good Tarpanay could be in a top 4 side.
Yeah, all right, Stefano, settle down. I'll give it a Tarp. Give it to him then. And let's take this baby home. Have you got a pop plan of the week?
Just the Warriors against the Eels. How do you lose that?
Yeah. They did. They're just not that good.
Yeah, just the Warriors in general. The Eels should not have won that game. They had
that was Warriors last year.
They had all the ball in the first 15 minutes on the Eels line. Mm-hmm. And any other side that is fighting for the top 8 score 3 tries.
Mm-hmm.
So
ask Mick, how do Warriors get beat? Yeah. They're not with us.
That was it.
They're just not with us.
Yeah.
No. Exactly.
I just miss the old halves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
reckon Sean Johnson and Metcalf, they combine very well together.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but now they've gone the other way, and it's just. Yeah, well, I reckon half a tap on the shoulder. You reckon for Johnson?
What was that?
Do you reckon Johnson got a tap on the shoulder, or?
Look, I think this is what I think of Johnson. His mind says he can go for long,
But he can't.
His body's not up to it anymore.
His body's not up to
Yeah. Yep.
to like, especially nowadays, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I reckon.
Yeah. Mick was just saying, his mind's with it, but his body's not.
His
So.
body says otherwise.
Yep.
He's not getting any younger, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah,
He's been
agree with
around.
that.
He's been around for quite a while.
But I'm telling you, like he's retired, like, mate, look at his highlights on YouTube.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
Amazing
yeah.
highlight reel.
Up there with a Benji or anyone else. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would put him over Stacey. I know Stacey Jones.
Yeah.
But I would pull Sean Johnson over Stacey.
Yeah.
The best warrior. The best warrior.
One of the best ones. I know
Yeah.
Stacey Jones did a fair few.
Yeah. Sorry, Mick. Just saying for those listening online that he had he had Sean Johnson in front of Stacey Jones
As the best warrior.
As the best warrior. So
In their history.
just for anyone listening on the podcast that had no idea what was happening, I was going Richie Kenner as a pot player, and any half a decent centre there, and they're in the game's house. But anyway, slap. I was going to slap the Warriors. I was going to slap the officials in the Tigers game, but that's probably a default system for me. Anything for you?
I'm going to slap the NRL for allowing Casey Badger to be refereeing or
Highly
officiating.
regarded. Highly regarded.
The highly regarded Casey Badger for allowing her to be involved in her husband's matches.
And it's been 2 years. Like it's
Yeah.
like, and it wasn't until someone pointed out that actually looked at it.
Yeah.
All right, finishing a good one. Salute.
Dragons. Has to be.
Agree.
Has to be the Dragons.
I think for how heavy you've been, I've got to salute Tyrell Slane.
Yep.
Outstanding. Jaden Silver, outstanding in the Dragons, and Flanagan for bouncing off.
Kyle Flanagan as well.
Cole was great. For bouncing off a 40-point flogging, come back and beat the minor premiers. They might not be the minor premiers now.
In their backyard.
In their backyard.
For the first time in 25 years.
Yeah, outstanding. So I agree. We'll both salute. And we will wrap it up. So check it all out on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere else you've been listening. Leave us some feedback below. We'll be back very shortly to preview round 23. See you guys.